today we're talking soul contracts again, and today with the name Michael or Michael. So Michael does have a combination letter in it, and this acts as one numerical value. And so we have meme at 13, I as Yod, CH as the letter Hrus, which is basically 8, Aleph, He, and Lamed. And so because it's less than 10 syllables, again, we're going to have one small triangle that represents both the physical and spiritual ways in which this name, this soul contract, experiences reality. But I've been thinking about this. There's no way I could possibly go as in-depth as I want to in these videos because, well, it puts it into like a half an hour to hour-long video, and it would require me to, for each person who carries this, these frequencies just shows up in the exact same way, but in completely different scenarios and situations to teach basically the same lesson, which is the power of soul contract readings. So let's get into it real quick. So we have 13, we have 10, we have 8, we have 1, 5, and 12. And so this is basically 14.5, this is 15.6, this is 22. And so let me just cross these out. There's also another aspect of it that I didn't touch on the last video, which is the soul destiny. One more frequency I'll cover at the end here, so stick around if you want to find out the soul destiny for the name, the soul contract under the name Jesus. But to find this out, basically, we just have to add everything. So 13.4. So we'll just put this in the center here, 13.4. Now, when you see 14.5 in the karmic, remember karmic numbers, you experience a lot more the negative, heavy aspect of this frequency in early life, because this is the first set of lessons that you'll have to learn. So you see 14, think 14's main attribute really is smell and your small intestines. So learning how to trust yourself, because you are most likely, well, definitely a mirror to others who speaks in truth. So let me just draw these out real quick here. These would be symbols that represent each of these frequencies. So the 14.5 is an etheric mirror. You know when you meet somebody and they give you a type of vibe and you reflect that same energy back to them, that's the 14.5. And so in a karmic position, it's probably doing that, but it's in a negative disposition because you don't care what others' feelings. You just speak truth. You're just here to speak truth on what you see objectively. And as a karmic position, you're doing the exact opposite of that. See, 5 is Aries. 5 is leading. He's pioneering. He's speaking his truth, no matter what anybody says. And this is what this energy does. So let's get into the talent. The talent is the 15.6, and in our last video we covered this as Jesus's soul contract. I believe it was his talent. No, sorry, it was his goals. So he experienced the negative sides of these frequencies to learn to go to that. In this aspect, now it will be talent. So it'll be, imagine this is a good perfect circle. And the 6, bringing thought, creativity, allowing your creativity to flow from that expansive cyclical nature of Sagittarius. Just a direct connection to source, and then trusting yourself. You have to bring that in through your creativity and all of these ideas that you have constantly. So this brings us to Michael, or rather from the Bible, Michael, or Archangel Michael to be specific, which is represented by the number 1, which represents the letter Aleph, which is that of air. That's of a masculine energy representing the one of the physical aspects of reality. Think of it as space instead of air. It's the space between my finger and the tip of that pen, the space between atoms, which very much is part of reality if we just look at everything opposite, and that is not physical. I hope that makes sense. The 22 now is movement, is learning to let go of things, and the 2 is objectivity, emotional resiliency. It's looking at things from an objective place and having the compassion to hold for yourself and others. And learning to let go is basically doing a lot of foolish. It's one trait, is doing a lot of foolish things in life, and then learning from that, because you have the ability to look at things from an objective place. In its goal, the 22. Remember, it's negative. It's experienced way more in the negative aspect, and it takes an entire lifetime to learn to get to this aspect. When we look at the 13.4 now, 30. So Aleph is a mother letter that represents one of the aspects of reality. In terms of an element, it's air. Meme 13 is a mother letter as well, but it represents water, and it's a feminine aspect of reality. So when you think of water, think of the smaller lakes in which hold all life and experience, everything we could interact with or possibly perceive, and then the larger lake that holds, the larger ocean that holds the smaller lakes for which reality stands, and that holds the structure throughout dimensions just for what it is. It is basically leading to source through, think of the planet Neptune, that type of energy, dreams, escapism, that type of vibe, but we go in and take from a place of unconditional love. Again, I hope that makes sense. The 4 aspect is learning to trust self, but as in the soul destiny aspect, I'm trying to draw this properly, but it's a duplicating type of energy. It's like monkey see, monkey do. You see something, you could replicate it in the exact same way and teach others. But in this aspect, you see something from source, you dive within into the depths of the psyche, and then you're able to replicate this and then help others through that aspect, because Michael ultimately is representing the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet in terms of vibrational frequencies, Aleph. And it's so interesting that the soul destiny is the 13.4, which is basically connecting to the water of all reality source. So let's get into this one. I did say I would like to go over this one just because I missed it in the last video. It's Jesus is a soul contract, soul destiny. And this is the 6-6. So the 6-6 is, think of we just said the 15-6, connecting to the expansiveness that is source, seeing from that cyclical nature and then bringing that thought. This is full on in terms of tapping into that creativity, tapping into that creative aspect of intuition and not allowing frustration to build, to escape through negative loops and addictions. You could go back and look at this video where I basically break down the 16-7 and the 15-6 in the last video and see how it correlates. Think of how that correlates to this energy where it says, you know what did Jesus do? He spoke truth, he spoke law, not laws and policies that we have today from fixed societal structures, but laws and aspects of reality in which to follow, to live and experience reality in its purest form, finding fulfillment. Separate from the Bible, most of that is the teachings of Paul, but if you shift we're not going to talk about that right now. Again, if you want to find out any more names for soul contracts, just let me know. I'll be happy to do it in this new series I'm doing. I'm having fun doing this. Keep it short, keep the name short. I don't mind any type of names that you come up with. I'll probably cover it eventually. And if you want to know how this applies to you, these readings, I know I'm doing this in a way where I'm making this video and I have I'm trying to explain them as best as possible here, but they make so much more sense when it's applied to you directly, because it opens up your eyes to the experiences that you've had and the type of frequencies and the way that it then shows up to affect you in the lessons in the specific way that it's trying to teach you. These videos that I'm doing right now only allude to give you some generic information as to how these frequencies could show up in the potential area. But again, if it's a specific reading for somebody, it's way more in depth. And then with an aligned purpose reading where we touch on the astrological placements and some human body design concepts and bring it all together, it's super in depth. That creates an entire map of your life, basically, to give you a direct map to the path of least resistance, to finding purpose and fulfillment in life that you could always go back to over and over again. But yeah, I'll never reach out to you first. You can reach me by booking a space on my calendar. I love you. Have a good day.